What's up, y'all? For the matchmaker is actually called The Mexicans is Indigenous to America. You can watch my previous video on my YouTube account. The actual playlist is called The Mexicans is Native to America. All those videos and that material I'm actually going to be using in my actual future books. I'm actually going to be using. It's called The Mexicans is Indigenous to America. I'm actually going to sell it for $20. When you actually watch those videos from my actual playlist, you know what I mean? You will see how, I don't see a lot, but you will see through people that's highly uneducated of the history of Mexican history, that Mexicans is actually Native Americans and it was already indigenous on this land, right? I'm actually going to explain it further more details in this video here, and I'm actually going to put all that material in my book, right? Put all of it in the fucking book, right? Besides that, I'm actually going to show y'all this. The landmass of Mexico is actually North and Central America. That's the landmass of Mexico. Originally was North America and Central America. I'm just looking down because I written notes. During the year of, because the Mexican and American War, during 1826 through 1828, Mexico actually lost the war against America. Right, so when they actually lost the war against America, they actually gave up some of that North American land to them. One was California, one was Texas, I think. I can't memorize off the top of my head. Don't take my word for it. Research it, like you check it up yourself. It's going to be in the book though. They actually gave some of that North American lands to them. I'm also going to speak to you. I'm also going to reveal to you about what, you know, they are taking our jobs. I'm also going to reveal that in this video too. They also, like Pregnity, right around this time, Pregnity when it actually won, they actually blamed the Mexicans for their all of their like Pregnity during the Great Depression. They actually literally blamed them for literally everything. They actually blamed them for the Great Depression. They literally blamed them for all of their problems. They was blaming them for all that shit. And they was telling white people, they push forth, propaganda campaigns, all this other bullshit, and try to justify their actions to cause harm verbally and also physically towards them. Also, right around this time, because there was a lot of indigenous Mexicans already living here. Now, I'm also going to explain, type this up. Mexican, R-E-P-A-T-R-I-A-T-I-O-N, 1929 through 1936. This actually speaks about that when our government literally kicked out a lot of the Mexicans that was already indigenous to America. They said it was 60%. In reality, it's actually more. But they actually kicked out 60% of Mexicans that was already indigenous to America before the existence of Green Card. Green Card came to existence in 1940. This also happened during a time when Mexicans was crossing over from Mexico to America. And the Mexican government told our government, like, yo, homie, bring them back. And our government said, yeah, no problem. And he already wanted to get rid of them in the first place. I'm talking about the Mexicans that was already indigenous here. He already wanted to get rid of them. He was like, man, this is good enough excuse. So he gave, he gathered all of them that was already indigenous to America. Also those that was already, crossing over, he gathered them all up and then kicked them out. Including Mexicans or people that look like Mexicans, they kicked them all out. And then they wait like 2 to 3 years and they gave them an apology act. And then the Green Card came into existence, so y'all won't come back to a land that they kick you out of. And then they create stereotypes and says y'all illegal immigrants. I'm gonna put it right in the book. The other is this: Native Americans. Besides what I actually said earlier about the Native Americans, the other is actually stereotype. Now, if you watch my previous video, stereotype, I actually explains the origin of stereotype. Stereotype is actually reverse psychology. I'm gonna give you an example. Every single thing, what's the stereotype of Mexicans? They are illegal immigrants, they are rapists, and they are criminals. These three actions are what white people did upon them. When white people came here, the actual illegal immigrants and the land stealers and the, those individuals, when they actually came here, this is what they done to the indigenous, these Native Americans that was already here. This is what they done upon them. So the stereotype is just a reverse psychology. All you have to do is just put it in reverse and you'll notice that they're actually talking about themselves. But they make it seem like it's you. When they came here, that's what they did to you. They came and did it to the indigenous population, and that's how they created Mexicans, right? So they came here, they was the rapists, they was raping a lot of indigenous individuals, they came out of nowhere, they was the one that doing these criminal actions upon you, and they came on there and calling you the legal immigrant, which in reality they are the illegal immigrant, right? And also the land stealers and shit. Besides that, also, where I'm at, because I'm looking through my notes. Besides, I already said it, the stolen their jobs, yeah. They said that, I think I already said that, stolen their jobs, Native Americans, I said that already. I already said that. And the other is this right here. In Latin America countries such as Mexico, the concept of this word called mestizo became central to the formation of a new independent identity that was neither Spanish nor indigenous. And the word, the same way I said earlier, occurred in its current meaning, with it being used by the government to refer to all Mexicans who do not speak their indigenous language and culture and so on. So practically, what they actually say is that these Native Americans, when they was actually being called this actual name, when they was going with this white person, right? When they was going with this white person, this Native Americans was removing themselves from their land, their culture, their tradition. They was getting rid of it. They was removing themselves from everything of who they are in order to be classified as this title. And this actually occurred during this system, which is called CASTA, right? And now under that system, that's pretty what he was calling them as, right? They would tell that child of the offspring they had together, this white person and this Native American, right? When they have a child together, they tell that child, yo, you keep on having sex with a white person. Keep having sex with a white person. Keep on having sex with a white person. So when it's time to give back what we stolen, we gonna give it to you first. The proper word for that is called identity theft. Another word is called language replacement, what I previously said earlier. Now, they actually going to replace your language with their own. It's called language replacement. So they're going to destroy your indigenous language, practically your native tongue, and they're going to put in replacement of Spanish. Now, that's how come in Latin, all throughout Latin America, y'all, it's not Latin. Latin is actually traced to Roman history. That's where the words was used for, Roman, what's called Latin and Hispanic. It's traced to that region over there, Rome, right? When they conquer you, right? When they say Latin America, that means that you people has been conquered by the Spanish and the Portuguese. You has been conquered by, these land stealers and these illegal immigrants. That's practically what that is saying. That's why you speak another tongue. So that's why it's called Latin America, because of your language is from those that been conquered you. You know what I mean? So since they conquered you, you're speaking Spanish. Besides that, also type this word up: land grab, land run. Now, when they actually came to America, they was calling first dips on this bitch. They was taking land and they was selling that shit. They was like selling land, real similar what they were doing with when they were selling human beings on auction blocks, right? They were selling human beings and shit. That's what they was doing with the land also. They came out of nowhere. It was like, well, look here, motherfucker, we don't give a fuck as y'all was already living here on the land. And the proper word for that is called, wait a minute. Forced immigration. They will remove you off your land so they can still sell it, or the other word is called ethnic cleansing. They will wipe you off your land by killing you or slaughter you off your land. So besides that, they were actually selling, the land that they actually stolen from somebody else, and they will sell it because that was big business. The proper word, also what I was talking about, they were selling families, this, that, and this, or practically, selling people. Type up the word weeping time, when they was separating families and they was selling them. They trying to make it apply to America, but it didn't. That tactic or that method applied it to the whole world. That's what they did to the whole world, to everybody, Native Americans, Africans, everybody and shit. They ripped them away from their families, and the reason why they were selling them piece by piece, because of when you sell them together, they will cost more. So they start to sell them piece by piece, right? Besides that, let's get into forgive me for putting my hand up. I'm saying, wait. Masonry. Type of the word masonry. Now, masonry literally means a person set out on a religious mission, especially one to promote Christianity in a foreign country. So they come to where you at and like knock on your. My phone ain't even in here. Oh, they were like. I'm gonna say the word again. A person sent on a religious mission, especially one to promote Christianity in a foreign country. So these missionaries, you know how it is today in the present, Christians or movements, something like that, come to your crib, you ain't knock on your door and you open it. You hear the word of God? Back in the day, they used to go to villages and other civilizations that says, your ass gonna be a motherfucking Christian by the means of rape, slaughter, we gonna kill your family, we gonna rape them, all sorts of crazy shit. And they convert who you are to what they want you to be. And I say this many times. In order for them to be comfortable, you can't be yourself. And that's why they did that all around the world. Besides that, and that's my quote. In order for them to be comfortable, you can't be yourself. I'm also going to tell you, I got 6 pages front and back based on this topic I'm actually gonna be doing. Type up Indian termination policy. In the 1600s, which actually occurred before then, it was shaped by a series of laws and policies with the intent to convert Native Americans into mainstream American society. The belief that indigenous people should abolish, which means get rid of, their traditional lives and become civilized. That's their policy. They was going all around the world telling the Native Americans, look here, homie, don't be yourself. That makes us feel uncomfortable. Also type up, I think I said this already, Mexican or Latino lynching. When you're actually proud of who you are, they said that motherfucker over there is boasting about himself. Lynch his ass. Also type Age of Discovery. A period from 14 to 1600 in which Europeans traveled the rest of the world in search of goods, raw materials, new trading routes, and trade partners, including slaves. So I'm actually gonna put all of my sources, all that shit in the book. Because that's what I do with everything I do. Especially people who actually keep their eyes on me, y'all already know what I do. But, now this is my translation of the Age of Discovery. During this period, the land stealers traveled the world for items to steal, resources to theft, land to make their homes, and races to use or take advantage of to later make them as slaves. That's all I'm going to speak about for this for now. Because I would speak about all of it, but I'm probably going to put all of them in the book anyway. So if you actually want to cop the project, let me know. Peace.